prevalence of, ingredients being available all year round, many of us have kind of lost contact with this underlying intelligence of nature. And the impact that has on our body is that it creates disease, illnesses, because we are essentially nature. And Ayurveda reminds us that we are, based on these 5 elements. And I'm sure if you've heard of Ayurveda before, you've heard of the dosha.
Yeah. I'm Amrita Devi, your Ayurvedic therapist and expert. In today's video, I'm going to share with you an excerpt from my conversation that I had with UK journalist Bethany Cole, who writes for the likes of British Vogue. And we talked about how we can use herbs and spices for colds and flus. I know this is something that many people are suffering with at this time of the year. So here's some really practical and cheap and safe natural remedies that you can make from your own kitchen pharmacy. And I hope you find this useful and powerful. I hope you enjoyed this conversation. Do watch until the end, like and subscribe this channel for more videos like this.
That's right. So we're like a combination of these elements, and it's unique for everyone. If you look at any other diet, you would see that it's just one size fits all. But in Ayurveda, we tailor that to your unique body type.
So specifically, that's lovely. So I've got a really good idea of your journey, and you really have been doing this and thinking about it for a long time, and it sounds very heartfelt, and it sounds like you came to it because you had a personal need as well as wanting to help other people. And you've done some very intrepid things. I mean, living in Uzbekistan, I can't imagine what that's like. So incredible. If you can just sort of double down on sort of remedies and preventative measures for cold and flu really at this time of year. Also, any tips for sort of midlife women?
Absolutely. So we know that seasonal environmental allergies are really prevalent causes of coughs and colds. And these are known as mild respiratory infections. They happen commonly in late fall and winter time. This corresponds to seasonal changes. So in Ayurveda, we know that, and I've mentioned briefly, we eat seasonally, we change our diets with the season. And that is because our bodies require the most nutrient-rich foods that are coming fresh into the season. What happens during shipping and transportation of non-local vegetables is really degenerative for food that you're eating. So if we already know that we're depleting our soils from overfarm, we already know that there's this respiration which happens during shipping. We know that we're getting a much lower quality fruit and vegetable, our nutrients, what our body builds its tissues upon by the time that it comes to our plate. And that's just if you cook really fresh food. Imagine now that it's been packaged. It's packaged food and it's been sitting on the shelves for, a month, maybe more, maybe less. And so you can see that our food, the thing that we should be nourishing us the most, is actually of a lower quality. And so we're not getting the nutrients that we should do from our food. That's, I would say, the first thing that we need to look at is, are we choosing foods that are locally grown? Can we do that more? Can we add more local fruits, vegetables? For example, if you live in England, are they European-based fruits and vegetables instead of getting import? Plus, the fruits would not be tree ripened usually. All of those vegetables would be a lower quality. And then the food that we put in our body for this nourishment is essential for us to get our vitamin C, B vitamin, manganese, magnesium. This is where we get our main source of nutrients. So it needs to be high. What we can do is make sure that we are using fresh herbs and spices in our food, because they commonly cannot be shipped large distances to stay fresh. And they have a plethora of vitamins and minerals in them. You can use spices, which is very common in Ayurvedic cooking. Some of them you probably already have in your cupboards already. For example, cinnamon. It really helps when you have this kind of phlegm on your chest and you need to clear your airways. It can really help to reduce that cough and the mucus. And that's because it's antiviral, antibacterial, antifungal. And, you know, in colds, this is caused by bacteria and fungi. It also helps with anti-inflammation. That means it reduces the inflammation in the respiratory tract and boosts your immunity because it has many antioxidants in it. And so that will also speed up your recovery time. Cinnamon is excellent for sore throats, and it's great to clear out the sinuses. And one way that I love to use cinnamon is just taking 2 tablespoons of powder and then 4 tablespoons of honey, mixing that into a paste, which I like to call lick, because you can't stop licking it, and you just make that freshly each day. So 4 times throughout the day, you just have this lick. It tastes fantastic and just starts to burn away the toxins that are in the body. Another one that I'm sure that you've heard of as a spice that's really great for colds and coughs is turmeric. And that's because it is anti-inflammatory and it has really high antioxidants. It's antimicrobial, and that is because of this compound that turmeric has, which is curcumin, which is really well researched even in the West today.
How do you spell that, Anne Rita? Curcumin.
Curcumin. And you can make that into a turmeric latte or a turmeric milk.
Like golden milk.
Absolutely. Golden milk is what you may have already heard it called.
Yeah, I've heard that's very good for inflammation and arthritis as well.
Absolutely. Turmeric is one of those spices that you can add into your food and you can put into your soups, in your drink. It's just a really powerful herb for inflammation. It's high in antibacterial properties. And you can add in a pinch of black pepper to this drink. And I think if you would ask me, 20 years, making this into a drink with milk wouldn't sound appealing, but really it's so beneficial to you. It tastes amazing. It's all about making a shift from a tea with caffeine and black leaves to having more of a nutrient-rich drink was a really great way to boost your immune system, boost your health.
And can you use plant milks as well with it?
Yes, absolutely. You can use almond milk. I recommend rice milk, coconut milk, oat milk.
Brilliant. So the golden milk, and is that with honey? How do you make the golden milk? It's milk, honey, and turmeric.
Exactly, and a pinch of black pepper.
And a pinch of black pepper. That sounds lovely.
It is.
That sounds very comforting.
It is, right? For this season, and the colour of it in your cup, it just brightens up your day. That yellow, golden colour. It's lovely. Ginger tea is another one of those treasured in Ayurvedic food, because not only does it help with the cold and the cough, it really cuts through any mucus that you might be experiencing. It warms up your digestion so that you have what we call Agni, which is your digestive fire, to be able to burn your food, to be able to have an appetite. Because what we say in Ayurveda is if you're eating and you haven't got an appetite, that the food that you're eating is not being digested, because your digestive enzymes are not, basically, you're not secreting those juices to digest that food. And so what happens to that food is typically it lays in your stomach, in your digestive tract, and just creates this buildup of toxins. And that's what we're trying to avoid. So that's why we use these pungent spices, black pepper, ginger, cinnamon, clove, and turmeric, to burn away these toxins, these toxins, what we call them in Ayurveda. So sipping on ginger tea, that's just like a hot water with some ginger. You can put in a few cloves in there.
Would you grate the ginger, or would you grate it? Would you slice it? Would you cut it small pieces?
Yeah, any of those would be really great. There's no, one way of doing it. I love to grate it because I like it into small pieces, and then I can actually ingest those pieces of ginger. If you don't like, to have those pieces of ginger, then just use slices.
Lovely. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. So ginger is amazing, as we know, for nauseous. If you're experiencing any fever as well, these are amazing herbs. In fact, in Ayurveda, ginger is known as that universal healer because it heals so many illnesses. And then clove is something that you can also use for sore throats and colds and coughs. Add that with hot water, drink it in the morning, or with your chai tea with some honey, and that will really help to ignite that digestive fire and clear away amatoxins.
They're ingredients that people can find in the supermarket, and that they can, relatively cheaply obtain and make into teas and drinks and pastes and stuff. And that's lovely. Yeah, that's lovely. Maybe one more.
Yeah, so one that I've got on my website as a recipe is a sage and honey cough syrup that you can make. And it's antibacterial, antioxidant, antimicrobial, and it helps to really fight viruses and soothe any sore throats that you might have. And as you know, honey has amazing benefits for upper respiratory type illnesses. It can shorten the length of your cold.
Would you recommend Manuka honey or any honey?
Any quality honey. You're trying to get the honey that's not heated, not heat processed. So like a raw honey, they would typically call it, I think, if you go into a health food shop. And that just means that the honey hasn't had all its, beneficial minerals and vitamins taken out of it through heat processing. This raw type of honey has been proven to be more effective than many of the cough medicines that you can buy over the counter, and it really helps to soothe your sore throat. If you've got one of those scratchy throats, it can just really coat the delicate lining on the inside of your throat with this protective film, which heals that scratchiness. It really helps to boost your immune system. It's really a safer option and cheaper option than many alternatives that are, like antibiotics. Over like long-term use, it's much cheaper and safer to use spices and honey for a remedy than it is to use a lot of the pharmaceutical medicines.
Okay, and how do you make the sage and honey cough syrup? Is that literally mixing sage and honey?
Absolutely, yes. So it's the sage leaves with honey in equal proportions, and then putting some slices of lemon, fresh lemon in there. It feels really good for the throat, and it's really a wonderful way to, treat yourself from home in a more effective and safer way. And there's some more. There's a steam inhalation, which is something that your grandma did with you, your mother's done with you. I know mine did as I was
Did
growing
that as a child. Yeah, I've done steam inhalation and I have asthma and I've done steam inhalation. It's a really good one. Yeah, I agree.
You can add in a pinch of turmeric in there. You can put in the eucalyptus leaves, some Himalayan salt for minerals, and that really opens up any congestion in your nostrils and your chest to alleviate any congestion there too. Take that steam inhalation twice a day until it's relieved itself.
Lovely. Well, I think that's probably enough. I mean, you've given me loads there, and there's loads of really good stuff there, and fantastic stuff for my readers. And would you say to take these things as preventatives or as cures?
Yeah, very good question. So, as you know, Ayurveda is typically a preventative disease. And so to prevent colds and coughs happening, I mean, I know this from my own experience. The best way to do that is to reduce the amount of toxins that build up in your digestive tract. These are remedies that you can use when you have the signs and symptoms of cough and cold. But if you want to prevent coughs and colds from occurring, then you need to look at an Ayurvedic lifestyle, an Ayurvedic diet and cleansing regime, because that's really what's going to help boost your immune system and help your body to function at its most optimal.
And do you do kind of bespoke treatments? Are you available for bespoke kind of overhaul, lifestyle overhaul?
I agree only on bespoke. So it is all about you and your individual constitution, knowing what that is, and then we give you a treatment. So it's going to be a different herb. It's going to be a different, type of lifestyle that you should be following due to your particular and unique set of needs for your body.
Brilliant. Okay, well that's lovely. Do you mind if I put your age, or would you rather not say?
I'm 46.
You're 46. You don't look it.
Thank you.
Yeah, it does work. You are a beaming example of
Yeah.
mother of three. Gosh. And
Yeah.
they were born in Uzbekistan.
The eldest was born in Uzbekistan. The middle one was born in England, in Wallingford, in Oxfordshire. And the last one, she was born in Mallorca, in Spain.
Oh, how lovely. That is absolutely brilliant. Well, thank you so much for your time.